Yeah, I already have host access. Online students, anyone want to share your screen so that I can show you how you're going to submit the files? Anyone? Anyone want to share your screen? No one? Okay, fine. So if that is the case, let me show me from my system itself. Now, if you see here, I go to my system, assume I'm going to do some assignments. Who has already created the assignments folder? Okay, someone already created it, but don't directly create the files, guys. I'm deleting them. We already have an assignments folder, or else, first of all, let me create a folder, something called as others folder. Under that others, I'm going to put the notes and I'm going to put the assignments folder. Now, under this others folder, there is a folder called as assignment. Before that, let me show you. Okay. Now, under this assignment, say for example, I'm the one how to do I have done one assignment. Obviously, when I'm working in my local mission, I work in a different folder, different place I'm going to work. Now I have the file ready. Now I need to submit this file. How I'm going to do? Anyone, first of all, you create a folder on your name. Okay, whenever you want to submit the assignment, first of all, make sure you have a dedicated folder for you guys where you're going to put the assignments. For example, for me, I simply say something called as Prasad. Okay, assume like Prasad is my name over here. And under this, I want to put my assignment. Now, how do I do? For example, I take this December 2nd folder. Assume this is what my assignment is. Under this assignments, under my folder, I'm putting this assignment. Now let me rename this. I say assignment _1. If you want to give more description, you can give more description, but otherwise you can simply say assignment1.html, something like this. Clear, everyone? Now, once you add any type of changes into any of these folders, if you open this GitHub desktop, you should be able to see the change will automatically reflect in your GitHub desktop. It is showing that, boss, you have recently done a change, something called as assignment1.html, and you see a plus symbol here. What does that plus indicate? You are adding a new file. Okay, there are three symbols you will be getting. Either it is minus, dot, or plus. Dot indicates you have done some changes to the existing file. Minus indicates you are deleting one of the file. Now, my requirement is only adding assignment1.html. For example, you guys mistakenly assume like under my 7 a.m., under your this guy, you have deleted. Mistakenly, you have done that. It is not intentional. You have mistakenly deleted one of the file. Another thing is into some other folder, some 8 p.m. public, says where is the December files? No December files. Okay. Under November 30th, says some HTML file semantic tags. Some file is there. You are just exploring. Assume like you want to see what actually those are done. You have simply found that and you have mistakenly changed something, like instead of this, you have added something else. Mistakenly it happened. But if you do this here, I mean, you don't know what file you have deleted, what file you have edited, you have just mistakenly or intentionally, whatever it has done. But once you come to this GitHub desktop, is it not listing out what the files you have updated? It is showing that, boss, app.js minus, you are about to delete that. And .html, some assignment1.html, you are adding a new file. And some semantic tags.html, dot symbol, which is like you are editing the changes to this. Okay. Now, if you say that, okay, boss, these are the changes. Is it really that I'm about to do all these changes? No, my expectation is only assignment, but mistakenly other things are happening. That is the reason. If you do this deletion or updating, whatever it is, this is not going to affect in your GitHub desktop until and unless you go with the commit to master. These changes are in your local machine. When you delete something, it's only in your local. When you edit something, only in your local. When you add something, only in your local. Then what you need to do, now you need to take these changes, put into the GitHub desktop, put into the github.com, the code repository. Why the reason you're putting over there? So that you are making the code to be available for every other guy, including me. I can also access your assignments. Isn't it? So for that purpose, now you need to commit here. But before committing, if you realize, no boss, this is not me, I'm not deleting it, mistakenly happened. Right click on the file, simply say discard changes. That will be skipped off. Again, this guy plus I'm adding a new file. Yes, I'm fine. But this guy, I have mistakenly done this change. Now right click on this guy, discard the changes. You only need to add those files or edit those files or delete those files what you want to. You should not come back and ask me in the later saying that, boss, I have mistakenly deleted those files. You should not say that, guys, because I have already seen some of the students who are doing. But once you come here and the folder, you may delete or you may update. But here it is so clear, right? If you still see that guy deleted, if you still see that guy edited, and again still committing into the master, that is not mistakenly, it is intentional. Agree or not? So make sure before submitting it, you make sure, okay, these are the files, what I'm doing. Yes. Then you put a comment saying that my first assignment, something like this, whatever the assignment or whatever the comment you want, you simply put it over here. Now you click on the commit to master. Commit to master indicates from here, it will be only going to your branch. Okay. But here, if you see on the top, there is something called as push origin option is still showing. Implies the changes is not yet submitted into the Git. So in order to submit into Git, you need to click on the push option here. So click on the push option. That's it. Now your changes got deployed into the GitHub. Let us see whether it is happening or not. Now, when I open this github.com, now, if I open this, my current folder, go to this 8:30 a.m., go to the others folder, go to the assignments folder. Under that, there is a Prasad folder. Under that, is my assignment got submitted? Yes. So now the changes of your local machine got deployed into the GitHub. This is what happens when you go into the real time. Anytime you do the changes, okay, you need to take this code, you need to deploy into the GitHub so that every other guy can access it. Till now, I'm doing my changes every day, whatever the examples we are working, I'm actually submitting into the Git. But now what you can do, every day, whatever the assignments you're working on, you make sure you can do the changes. But please make sure, guys, I already said you, once I made you as a collaborator, in the sense you have access to all the other batch, other folders, etc. things. The reason why I gave you the access is you get a chance to explore what other batch examples or other batch assignments, how they are doing, etc. just for informative purpose. But don't delete those, don't edit those, please don't do that, because the changes what you do will affect every other guy. Now mistakenly I delete something, I submit the code, committed into the Git. Is everyone is missing? So yesterday some of my other batch student, he mistakenly deleted all the assignments folder. I can't say mistakenly because here it is so clear, right? It is showing that how many files you are changing, what are the operation you are doing. Here you can't close your eyes and blindly click on commit to master. Isn't it? So please make sure put some extra attention before you do this. Luckily, it is our class. There is a way I can revert back the changes. But once you go into the organization, that doesn't give you a professional look and feel that boss mistakenly I deleted that code or mistakenly I deleted someone else's code. That is not at all a professional way of behaving. Am I clear? Okay. Yeah. So now from today, can I expect everyone to submit your assignments? Yes. Now, when you want to review your assignments, do you need to send a mail as an attachment now? No. But what thing you have to do, you need to tell me what location you have submitted your assignment. Say, for example, today he submitted, and he submitted. Luckily, today we have one assignment. In future, there might be some 50 assignments everyone have submitted. How do I know which assignment file I need to review? What is the folder of each and every student? So how do I get that guy? In order to get that guy, what you do is, say for example, 8:30 a.m. So this is the folder assignments under Prasad. When you are putting a mail to me, you please mention this path, or else let me show you my existing students, how people are doing. Okay, now say for example, is it mine? No. Come on. I forgot my password. I'll do that later. But in general, like once you get the mails, right? So how you will be doing is, I know that, I mean, I have already said that in the subject, you need to mention that 8:30 a.m. batch. Okay. Assignment 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever the count it is. And in the attachment, you do this guy. In the mail, you do mention these guy. That's it. You mention these guy. That's it. In the mail, you're not attaching the mail. You simply showing me the path from where I need to pick up the file and I need to review it. Okay. Now what I will do, I will take the latest code. How you take the latest code? Simply click on the fetch origin. Okay. I will get the latest. Once I get the if you do the changes, I will click on the fetch. I will get the latest. Now I see the file. Now whatever the file I have, I simply open that folder. If because you have already mentioned, okay, under so and so folder, under assignment, some Prasad, some so and so. Now I go here, I will review that and I will reply back with the feedbacks. Okay, no attachment of the files from today. It's like only submit in the Git, give me the path, I will take the files from there. Any questions up to this? Anyone, online students, clear on how do we submit the code into the Git? Yes or no? Not clear, sir. Then what is the question? Explain once. That is what I did, right? Any questions for the offline? Okay. First thing is, our requirement is we need to submit the files to the Git so that everyone can access the files from everywhere. Now further, what you need to do is, one more thing what I missed over there is, before you submit the changes, please click on this fetch origin button, guys. Fetch origin button is the button which helps you to go to the github.com, see what are the latest changes you have, take the latest changes and show it to you. When I'm clicking the fetch origin, it is not showing any changes. What do you mean by that? According to the github.com, whatever the source code I have, as the current content what I have in my system, both are similar, no changes. Okay, that is the reason it's not showing anything. If there is a change, if you click on this, it will show you a pull option. You would have already seen that, right? Pull option, if you click on that, it will show you 2 download buttons or 3 download buttons. What does that mean? There are those many changes, you have to sync with that. Once you click on that guy, later what you need to do, go into our 8:30 a.m. folder. There is others under that assignments folder is there. Everyone create a new folder. Say for example, some Mr. Krishna is coming. Okay, so he has created his own folder. Now you open this guy and you simply paste whatever the assignment you want to submit. Now once you go into the GitHub, it will show you what is the file you are adding into the Git, because I see a plus symbol at the right. So what does that indicate? You're about to submit a file into the Git. Now you come over here before clicking on, okay, put some comment, say some assignment so-and-so. Before committing into the commit to master, please click on fetch origin. Otherwise, merge will be going to happen. So this is a very main important step. Before clicking on the commit to master, click on fetch origin, take the latest code, then you simply click onto the master. Now, once you click onto the master, the changes will be going into the GitHub. I mean, after you click on the master, you will have something called as some up arrow push option, which indicates that you want to move this guy into the GitHub. That is what you can do. Any questions online? Now you're clear? Okay, good. So right now I'm reverting the changes. If I'd say that no boss, pull origin in the sense, getting the code from the outside, in the sense from GitHub into the local machine. Now, if you see, I have this folder structure. How do we got this folder structure? I have not created the folders. I have not added all the files and all, right? Then how do I got this? So I actually pulled the code from the code repository into my local machine. That is what we call it as pull origin. Push origin in the sense, from your current machine, you want to submit the changes into the GitHub. Okay. Next, Rahul, pull is download and push is upload. Yeah, exactly. Any more questions, online students? Okay, nice. Next, coming to the next topic. Now, right now, say for example, this is not the one I don't want to submit. How can I discard this? Right click on this, discard change. And or otherwise, say for example, there are 10 files. I want to discard all the files. Here, if you right click on this, there is an option called as discard all. If you click on individual file, it will say discard the current file or not. But if you click on the top, you have something called as discard all the changes. You simply click on discard all the changes, click on discard all, done. Those things will be deleted. See here, there will not be any Krishna folder here. Under others, assignments, see, no file, because that got deleted. Am I clear? Okay, so make sure everybody does that, guys. If you still have questions in how do we do that, don't do whatever the way you want. You simply ping me, I can help out. But don't say that, boss, mistakenly I have done this. One main thing is, before submitting, see the number of changed files what you are having. If you are sure, yes, all these files I'm doing, now you click on the commit. Okay, so coming back to the normal discussion, we have seen what do you mean by class and etc. stuff, right? So today, the next topic is, we are about to see what are the different ways we can actually define the classes, debugging tool, priorities, and so and so. Okay. And we have even seen the DOM structure also yesterday, right? So everyone is so clear. What do you mean by DOM? Document, object, model, how the tree structure of a web page is getting created, how you identify individual value from the existing DOM, and how do you call each and every tag as a DOM element. When I say DOM element, that means identifying the element which is already participating within the DOM structure, which we call it as a DOM element. Clear? Next. Now, let us go to the next topic, like different ways of creating CSS classes .html. Hope everybody even going with the notes also once we are done with the class. Everybody going, right? So make sure, guys, you go with that. And if you feel that something is not there in the class, I mean, what we discussed in the class but not there in the notes, let me know so that I will give the notes for that. Maximum 100% it will be there. 99% it will be there. If mistakenly something is missing, remind me. Oh, I created a class here. Now I say HTML. And yesterday I have even discussed about the coding indentation also. How important you need to follow the coding indentation. Required spaces wherever you have to give. How do we follow? Make sure everybody does that. Okay, let me go with the same news items again. Let us say some H3 tag. I say some news item 1. Okay, under that I will go with a paragraph tag, because why I'm going with the paragraph tag here? Multi-line of text content we are going to add within the paragraph tag. Okay, so if I have to add multi-line of text content, so let us get some news today. Okay. Something like this. And I want to have the same multiple news items here. We have already done this, guys. The same thing I'm repeating. News item 3 following with news item 4. Save this guy. Right click on this, open within the browser. This is how the news page is getting rendered. Everyone is clear? Okay. Now I would like to give some different look and feel for my heading following with my content. How do I go for that? First of all, I need to define a CSS class, or do you want me to go for inline CSS? Inline CSS, not recommended. I want to go for a CSS class. Which tag is used to define all the CSS classes? Style tag. So again, no confusion, guys. Style is a tag. At the same time, style, there is an attribute also. Isn't it? Attribute is used to add the inline CSS. Tag is used to define the CSS classes. Okay. Now, under this, I define dot something called as news title, say some color, say some blue, and I go with news content, say some color, yellow, background, CCC, which is a gray color. Okay, save this guy. Come back here, reload the page. Why it is not getting applied? Defining the CSS classes is not just enough. We need to link the class name to the particular tag. Which tag has to use the particular class? Now I go with this news title. I put a class using this news title. Okay. And one more thing, guys. Using a class, you can inject any number of CSS classes. Okay, any number of classes, more than one class can be applied for a single tag. Anyway, I'll show that example, but just for informative, using this attribute, you can add any number of classes. Okay, so I go with this guy. This is news content. Okay, save this guy, reload the page. This is how I'm having the news content along with the news header having CSS been applied. Clear, everyone? We already know this. The very first question what I have is, for example, I treat this news third item. The third news item is a very special item, guys. Assume. Okay, guys, understand this topic here. I have the third paragraph item, which is the highlight news of my news today. Okay, for this guy, I'm going to put some ID, something called as highlight news. Okay, this is a highlighted news. I'm giving some ID because that is a very special news for today. Now, I want to show this guy in a different look and feel. How do I go for that? Can I use the same news content class? No. If I have to show it in a different look and feel, do I need to go with a separate class here? Yes. No. Instead of news content, I say highlighted news. I'm going with a separate class. Go with this class here, and I go with news highlight. Let me say some font hyphen size of some 16 pixel, and I say text hyphen decoration, underline, and background color, say some green. Okay, this is what I want to show in a different look and feel. Come back here, reload the page. Now, I may have n number of news items. Highlighted news is coming with a different look and feel. Fine, everyone? Yes. The next question what I have is, assume in my news page, every day I will be having some set of news. Okay, every day on my news page, I will be having some set of news. Among all the set of news, only one news item I want to highlight. Every day, I'm going to have only single highlighted news. That is what my web page, what I'm following. Okay. Now you guys tell me, any chance someone else will use this highlighted news? Yes or no? Any chance someone else will use this class called as highlighted news? Come on. Yes. Yes. Guys, why you are saying yes? Understand the content. Okay. You might say the class highlight news can be used because once you define a class, that class can be used any number of times. Okay. But as per my current requirement, I may have 100 news items or 1000 news items. I'm saying that per day, I have only one highlighted news item. Now you tell me, is there is any chance that highlight news class will be used by someone else? No. Now, if I say no, you will go with yes, right? Yes, the reason is highlighted news will not be used by someone else because one guy is already using, no one else will use it. That is what my current requirement. Only one highlighted news every day. Tomorrow, some other news item is coming as highlighted. I'll take out this guy, I'll apply to this guy. Agree, everyone? Now, my requirement is, aren't you not? The main reason for defining a class is reusability. Isn't it? Once you define a class, that can be used any number of times. That is what our requirement is. But now, why you are just defining a class, a single class, only one guy is using, that guy is already having an ID. Okay, that guy is already having a unique ID property. Now my requirement is, why don't I define the class using the ID itself? So that don't use of this class property, take out this ID, and instead of class name, define the ID itself. Okay. Now, if you save this, come back and reload, not getting applied. Why so? Whenever you say dot operator, that indicates it is a class definition. But is this name is a class name or ID of the container? ID of the container. Instead of dot, put something called as a hash symbol. Hash indicates ID of the container. Dot indicates class of the container. A very, very good interview question. People will ask you in CSS, what is the difference between the dot operator and the hash operator? Dot is always used when you want to define a CSS class. Hash is always used if you want to define a class based on an ID of an element. Questions? Clear, everyone? Now, if you save this, come back and reload the page. Am I getting the highlighted news here? Now, the thing, as I said, one advantage what you're having is you are not defining a separate class. You are not making use of the same class with the class attribute. What are we doing here? Whatever the existing ID of the element we have, we can even define a class using the ID of an element also. That is what I have done. Any questions? Clear, everyone? Now, if I ask you a question, I have one text, paragraph tag or any tag you have. I want to apply CSS. Can you tell me how many ways you can do? I have some content on the page. I want to do some look and feel changes. Can you tell me in how many ways I can apply the look and feel changes? Classes and ID only? Inline is not there? We have there, right? So how many ways we have seen already? 3 ways we have seen. Inline CSS, class-based CSS, and ID-based CSS. So there are 3 different ways. Now the 4th one is also there. If you clearly look onto this heading, I'm having news item 1 with a different look and feel, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you clearly see, is it not indirectly every H3 tag is having the same look and feel? Yes or no? Every H3 tag is holding the heading. Every heading is having the same look and feel. Implies every heading is having the same type of look and feel. Okay. Now what I want to do is, why the reason you are defining a new class, boss? Instead of defining a new class, why don't we use the same why don't we use the tag name itself while defining the class? What I'm saying is, don't use of this class. No class here. I'm replacing this class with nothing. No class here. See, I have removed everywhere class. Now, if you come back and reload the page, heading is not taking the CSS properties. Now, what I do here, while I'm defining the class here, instead of the class name, simply specify the tag name. What do you mean by this, guy? Anywhere you see the h3 tag within the page, simply add these properties. But here, when I say dot, it is a class. When I say hash, it is, if you don't specify anything, that is called as tag. Okay, if it is a tag based class, you don't need to specify any of the operator. Simply say h3. What do you mean by this definition here? Anywhere you see the h3 tag within the page, simply add these properties to that. Now, if you save this, reload the page, as simple as it is. Now, I want to add a background color for this guy. Simply say background, say some yellow. This is how it is. So every h3 tag is getting the properties. In the same way, can I go with every paragraph tag? If you see here news content, it's indirectly every paragraph is having the same look and feel, right? Yes. But here, now if I ask you a question, how many ways you can apply CSS to any HTML element? How many? 4 ways. What are those? Inline, class, ID, and tag based. So there are 4 different ways you could able to add CSS to any HTML DOM element. Now, can I call DOM element? Yes. What do you mean by DOM element? Referring to an element which is already participating within the DOM structure. Clear? Okay. Now, the next thing what I have is, yeah. Now, okay, among all these 4, what is not at all recommended? I want everyone to answer. What is not recommended? Inline is not recommended. Why so? We already saw the disadvantages. And the second one is tag based is also not recommended, guys. Why the reason tag based is not recommended? Okay. In the page, you have added some news items with some different look and feel. Someone else is coming here. I put a horizontal line. I want to put some employee details here. I want to load some employee details here. How do I go for that? I want to go with some h3, say some employee details. I will put some message about to load employee details. Something like this I want to show. Now, if you save this, come back and reload. The very first question what I get is, why the hell this employee details has got the blue foreground and yellow background? Why the reason? Because you are using the h3 tag. Boss, I can use h3 tag for any other purpose, right? Is there is any restriction that h3 has to be only used for news, not for the employees? No. But here the problem is, when you are defining the CSS, as you define that every h3 tag have the same properties within the same page, any number of times you use the h3, every h3 is going to have the same type of look and feel. So boss, if remember, okay, for example, you know that when you go to the bigger organization, one page, multiple people will work. Yes, right? Today, I'm coming, I'm putting some h3, I'm defining the CSS with yellow background and blue foreground. Okay. Tomorrow, say for example, he is coming into my project, he is taking the same file, he might use the h3 for something else. But when he is using h3, he unnecessarily see this look and feel. I don't want that. Isn't it? We may use the same tag for a multiple purpose. If you are sure that the h3 will be only used for news contents, will not be used for something else in the page, okay, you can go with the tag based. But that is not the case when you go to the real time. Multiple people will be working on the same project. I have taken paragraph tag. I say that every paragraph tag with font size so and so. Someone else will come, use the same paragraph tag for something else. Why the hell that properties are coming over here? That is the reason it is not recommended to make use of the tag based CSS. So among 4, how many are not recommended? 2. What are those? Inline and tag based. What are recommended? How many are recommended? 2. What are those? ID and class based. Clear everyone? So it is always recommended to not to go with the inline. We know the disadvantages, and the tag based. We know the disadvantages. Okay. So any questions on this? Anyone? Clear everyone up to this? Okay. Now let us talk something called, there is a concept, guys. You might have a question. Okay, boss. Now for a single HTML element, can I define ID based, class based, tag based, and inline CSS? Yes or no? For a single HTML element, can I put ID, class, and tag or inline? Yes or no? Obviously, yes. There is never a restriction that I can't put ID, I can't put class and all. You can put it, right? You can put ID, you can put class, you can put style. Now you define all the CSS. Now the question is, what if every other guy is using the same property? Using inline, I apply the font size, some 10 pixel. Using class, I apply again the same font size with some different value. Who is going to come? There is a chance of getting overridden, right? There is a concept, something called as CSS priority. Browser is having some list of priorities. Based on that, I need to apply those CSS properties. So what do you mean by CSS priorities? We need to check on that. But before that, we need to talk something called as debugging tool. Because in the debugging tool, I need to show you how the priorities are getting applied. Okay. So the next topic is debugging tool. Before going with the debugging tool, first of all, understand the importance of the debugging tool, guys. This is one of the very important tool. Every UI developer need to understand this. If you don't have an idea of the debugging tool, I'm not saying that it is impossible to create the web pages. It is possible. Without debugging tool, you can write it because you know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you can write the code. But without debugging tool, if you develop a web page, not so easy for you to identify the mistakes, not so easy to debug the code what you have written. That is the reason debugging tool is mandatory. Practical example. Assume I'm an electrician. Okay, assume. Now you tell me what is the very powerful tool which I need to carry every time? Tester. What is the reason of this tester? Why do we have tester? Tester is the one which helps you to check whether the current flow is happening or not. If I put inside it, a light will glow which says that, okay, current is flowing. If it is not glowing, then I say that it is no current is flowing. Can I say that without tester, electrician can't do his job? We can do. Is it not a risky? What I need to do, I need to touch the wires. If I get a spark, I feel like yes, power is going. Otherwise, put your hand. Okay, that is also one option, right? So it's up to you, but it is a risky way, not a better way to do this. Now, what is the suggested way? If you put a test, easily I can say. For example, there is a point here. I need to check whether there is a power or not. If it is a tester, simply put on this. I got it. If it is not there, I need to open the board, see the open the board, see the connection, put the wires and see whether sparks are happening or not. That is how you're doing. Lengthy way of identifying. The same thing even with your debugging tool. When I say that I'm doing the development of a web page with a debugging tool is almost equal to an electrician working with his work with a tester in his hand. If you are working on the development without having an idea of the debugging tool is almost equal to an electrician working on the electrical job without a tester in his hand. So both are possible. I'm not saying that it cannot be done. Can be done, but in a risky way, in a lengthy way. Okay. So debugging tool is most powerful, most advantageable and most recommended tool, mandatory tool for every UI developer to understand. Okay, so put some extra attention, guys. I will try my best to make it so clear, but again, on the top, you need to put the extra attention on this. Okay. First thing, how do you open this tool? In general, in earlier days, we used to have this tool as an external software. Okay. Tool never used to come along with the browser. We used to manually install it in earlier days. But later what happened is, everybody understood, the browser developers understood that it is a very common thing every developer has to have. That is the reason nowadays every browser by default comes with a debugging tool. You don't need to install it as a plugin. Okay. How do I open the tool here? Go to any of the web page. Simply right click on the page. There is an option you see, something called as inspect. Any web page you go, right click on the page. There is an option, something called as inspect. Once you click on the inspect, you should able to see a tool, something like this. This is what we call it as a debugging tool. Am I clear? If you don't want to see this, right top you have a close button. Simply close this guy. That is gone. Okay. Again, another shortcut is you can even click on F12 button. Okay. Simply click on F12 button. It also will open the debugging tool for you. Either you click on F12 or right click inspect will open the debugging tool. The shortcut is same for every other browser. You go for Chrome, Firefox, IE, Safari, Opera, any browser you go, the shortcut is going to be same. Every browser by default comes with this debugging tool. Clear? Next. Under this debugging tool, you can see that there are multiple tabs on load of the page. Elements tab, console, sources, network, performance, memory, application, security, and lighthouse. Okay. Multiple tabs are there. Right now, I only concentrate on the elements tab. We will go to the remaining tabs like console. We go when we go to the JavaScript. Sources, when we want to debug the JavaScript code. Network, when you want to monitor what interactions are happening with the server. Performance, like this, I mean, how individual service is taking what time, etc. and all. Memory, under that, you're going to see what actually the space individual files are taking. Application, we are going to see the local storage, session storage object. So every tab is having their own preference. First of all, let us only concentrate on the elements tab here. The very first thing what you see on the elements tab is you could able to see the complete DOM structure of the current page. This is what my DOM structure, HTML page. Under that you have the header and body. And when I say DOM structure, it should include the content along with the properties also. Yes, you see under the head, you have two elements, which is title and style. Under the style, this is what the content is. In the same way, I have a body tag. Open the body tag. What are the children's I have? H3, paragraph, etc. So these are the elements what I have. So under the elements tab, you should able to see the DOM structure of current web page. Okay. Now, if I put a question, is the DOM structure of n number of web pages is going to be same? Is the DOM structure of every web page is going to be same? Come on, guys. We discussed that yesterday. We said yes, right? No, it is never going to be same because here I'm using H3P, etc. and all. Someone else might use something else. Okay. Yeah. Now, another thing is, guys, one more thing I just missed it. When I'm actually going with the tag-based CSS, right? Is it recommended or not recommended? Not recommended. But one case it is recommended, guys. Say, for example, I want to change the background of this body tag. Can I go with the tag-based here? Why so? Why I'm saying that if at all you want to apply the CSS for the body, I will say some background as something called as green. Come back here, reload. See, complete body tag got the green tag, green color. Fine. Now I'm saying that for the body it is recommended. Can you tell me why? One body tag. There is no chance that multiple body tags will be coming into the picture. That is the reason for that guy, it is okay. Recommended go with the tag based, but not for the other tags. Anyway, now, yeah. So what are we doing? Debugging tool. Right click on the page, click on inspect. You should be able to see the debugging tool. By default, debugging tool will be shown at the bottom of the page. But you can change the position of the debugging tool. On the right top, you have this. After settings, there is some 3 dot symbols where you have this. If I click on this guy, debugging tool will be shown on the left side. If I say at the right side, this guy will be shown on the right side. If I click on the first option, it will be like a separate window. Whenever you have 2 monitors, in general, when we go to the big MNCs, you'll be having 2 monitors where you want to work. Because in the small page, debugging at the bottom, working on the code, not so easy. You take out this code into the second monitor, there you do the changes, you see the reflection. So you can use for that. So right now I'm putting at the bottom. Okay, opening a debugging tool and setting the position of the debugging tool. Now, one more advantage what I see is, for example, my manager he has asked me to create this web page. I just created it. Now, he is saying that, can you change the background color of this special news item? What he's saying is, boss, it is feeling like it is got mixed with the actual content. I want to change this background color. I want to see here. I'm not giving my decision. I want to check how it is looking like. If I apply some background or so and so, what I need to do here, guys, I need to go back. Assume like I'm a very new developer to this web page. It is easy for you to find out which element is responsible for this special news item? No, not so easy, right? What I need to do, okay, there is something called as in 2019. You take out this content, go over here, search something. You take some time, you find out that, okay, this is the guy which is getting applied. Fine. Now he is taking an ID. Now I go to the CSS. Okay, this is the content, what it is getting applied. He asked me to change the background color. Instead of green, let me say something called as some pink. Save this guy, come back here, reload. Manager says that pink is also not looking good. Do something else. What I need to do, go back to the file, do the changes, get back here, apply the changes. Two problems what you see is, first thing is, not so easy for you to identify which look and feel is responsible for what piece of coding. Agree or not? We have written two more. Right now, luckily, we have 50 lines of HTML code. Easily you can find out. In future, now for example, you go with something called as Amazon. Go into the source code of this. You know how many lines of code it is? 2028. Okay, almost 2000 lines of code. Do you think it is easy for you to identify which piece of, now someone is asking, saying that, boss, this yellow search box is there, right? I'm not like, sorry, orange search box is there. Make it to green. How do you do that? Do you think it is easy for you? Not at all, boss. See here, 2000 lines of code. Go to every line, every line, every line, every line. Find out what it is. You need to apply. As I said, you electrician without a tester. But with the debugging tool, it is easy. I will show you. So that is the two problems what I have whenever my manager asks me to do the changes dynamically when the page is running. And it is hard for me to identify which code is responsible for what look and feel. Okay. Now, how do I solve these guys? I'm saying that open the debugging tool. You see, this is what the complete DOM structure is. Now, on the left top, do you have a pointer? Yes. Click on this pointer guy. You can take that to any of the element within the page. You say that, okay, this guy you wanted. You come over here, click on this guy. At the bottom, is it not highlighting a paragraph tag which is responsible for the look and feel of that? You might have thousands of HTML elements, but using this link tag, when I click on this guy, I go to news item, click on this, automatically at the bottom, it is highlighting. It is showing a link between the content which got rendered on the UI. At the same time, the HTML content which is responsible for that particular look and feel. Easy, just with a single click. Now it is easy for me. And one more thing, what you see over here is not just only showing the HTML content. Now, when I say this is the paragraph tag, at the right side, could you able to see what is the CSS also been applied? It is saying that there is a class with ID based, font size is so and so, text decoration is so and so, background is so and so. Very easy for you to identify what HTML, for what look and feel, what CSS has been applied on a single scroll. Okay. On the top, the peak level support, what you have is not only looking the changes, we can even do some dynamic changes when the page is running. Instead of this background color, if I simply click on this ping, is becoming editable? Yes. Now I say something called as blue. Is it not getting affected over there, boss? Yes. I want to remove this background blue. Uncheck this guy. Is it got removed? I want to remove this text decoration. Uncheck this guy. Is the underline is getting removed? I want to apply this guy. I want to apply the foreground size. Now tab here, asking me to add a new element. Say something called as color. I say some red color. Is it is getting applied over here? See the advantage, boss? Not only identifying the HTML and CSS, you can do the changes on live. When the page is running, you could able to do the change. Now my manager asked me, blue is not looking good. Okay, something else need to be changed. What I need to do? Do I need to go back to the code and do the change? No, easily. Instead of blue, I will say something called as green. Boss, do you feel looking good? No. What else? Okay, let us say something called as light blue, like this. On fly, I'm doing the changes. So when you're not sure, sometimes you might be doing some R&D. You're not sure that what changes has to be for sure added. So for that, what I need to do, I need to develop the page. I need to do the changes, not looking good. Something else need to be applied. So in this case, I cannot go back to the code, do the changes, get back to the page, refresh the page. It's a very lengthy process here. To avoid this, what I can do, open the debugger window, do the changes here. Here itself you see, not looking good, something else. Not looking good, do something else. Looking good, now you do the changes over there. And one main thing what you see is, whatever the changes you do within your debugger window are temporary changes, not permanent changes. Okay, once I come back and reload the page, gone. Every other changes, whatever you do, those are gone. Now, if you ask me a question, I do lot of changes. What if I have to copy them? What if I need to make them as a permanent changes? You need to manually copy them, paste them in the code. That is the option you have. Okay. And one more thing, if you right click on this guy, inspect this, automatically it is saying this is the paragraph tag. We have seen how to edit the changes to the CSS. Not only CSS, HTML can also be edited. I want to remove this ID. You simply double click on it, editable, remove this. Right click this paragraph tag, simply edit as an HTML. I want to add some more tag, something called as some H1. See, dynamically I'm doing, guys. Say some testing. Outside click, close this guy. See, the testing has got added. Dynamically editing the HTML, CSS, dynamically adding the new HTML and CSS, dynamically deleting this. Now I want to remove this guy. Say, for example, this employee details, I want to delete it. Right click on this, simply go with delete element, gone. That's it. But is it permanently gone? No, temporary changes. You reload the page, the changes are back to you. Am I clear here? Everyone? So this is what the advantage, small piece of advantage we have seen. With this, do you see as a developer, am I getting advantage of this? Yes. And one main advantage what you have with your debugging tool is not only the local pages what we have developed. This is a local page. We have created it. This is a public page which is available within the internet. You can even debug a publicly available external web pages also. How do you do that? Again, right click on this, inspect it. Automatically debugging tool is been open. Earlier I asked you the question, assume we are working in Amazon. Assume. Okay. Now my manager asked me, change this orange color background to some green color. Okay. But is it easy for me to find out? Earlier it was 2000 lines of code. I need to find out what it is. But my debug can help me now. Yes. Simply click on this pointer. Go to element which one you wanted. This guy. Click on this. See, is it not highlighting this part? It is simply saying that there is an input element with ID equal to so and so. If you see, I right mouse click on this guy. If I say delete element, is that orange box is gone? Do you think have you deleted in the Amazon page? No, temporary changes. Reload the page, you got it back. Now I want to change the background color. See how simple it is. Click on this guy. I got this. There is something called this here. I see that there is a background color so and so. Now here I say something called as some red color. I will show it to my manager. Simple. Earlier, without having a debugging tool, very hard for me. But now I can see there is a div guy which is having a class called as nav search with a submit with nav-spirit. Under this is the class with an ID base they have applied. See here, ID base, this is what the CSS they have applied, border, width, etc., etc. I simply make use of it. My changes are ready. I'll show my manager. This is what you wanted? Looking good. Make it permanent. Now you go back to the code, actually do the change, save it. Because the changes what we do under the debugging tool are temporary changes. Clear, everyone? Everyone? Okay. Now, another advantage what you have with your debugging tool is you can learn the things. Now, you see that, boss, there is some cart icon in Amazon. My interest is I want to have the same type of cart icon in my page also. So can I get the CSS what he has done? Can I get the HTML what he has added? So you can even learn the things. You can inspect it. You can see how actually he has added this. There is a span guy under that he has added. Now, if at all you want to use this, right click on this, edit as a HTML. You copy this HTML, you paste wherever you wanted and utilize that guy. Even copy the CSS, you could able to see this. Okay, this is one more advantage, learning purpose. There are some new components being available in most of the web pages. Something you feel interest and you want to put the same guy even in your web page. So for that, what you need to do, this is the way you can edit it, you can get the thing, put it into your local machine, as simple as it is. Clear, everyone? Okay. So today's assignment, what you have is explore the debugging tool. Play with the debugging tool, guys. Okay. Now, say, for example, I'm opening something called google.com. There is a Gmail icon here. I don't want to have this Gmail. Instead of Gmail, see here, edit this guy. I say something called as Prasad's mail. Can I do this? See, I modified. Does it mean that actual Google you're doing the changes? No, temporary. So like this, play with the debugging tool. Delete, go to any of the web page. Go to Google guy, Amazon guy, Flipkart guy, go anywhere. Try to delete it, try to append it, try to add some new tags, try to remove the CSS, understand what CSS they are giving. Get comfortable with the debugging tool. Being a developer, getting comfortable with the debugging tool is very much mandatory. Okay. Clear, everyone? Okay, so let's pause for today, guys. And one more thing, guys, tomorrow you might not have a class. Okay, I know that, last Saturday also we had a break, but this Saturday, this is the final Saturday, guys. From next Saturday, for sure, we are going to have it, because I have some students who are new for this. They are still going with the video recordings, what we have. So I want to give some time for them so that they can get adjusted. And anyone who are going through the videos, and if you still have questions, something is missing, boss, because we haven't attended the live, we've gone through the recording, but I have some gaps over here. Can you please explain? Come to me, I can help out. Or you can ping me on my Telegram, I can help out in understanding that. Okay. But from Monday, make sure everybody is on track. There should not be a case that I have not attended previous and I'm not attending previous, etc. Anyway, from today, from the Monday, it will not be allowed for the new students to come. We will go with our journey. Okay. And whoever got registered, hope everybody got added to the Telegram. Today you got registered. Whoever not registered but not added to the Telegram group. Oh, many of you. Have you pinged Mr. Ramesh? He replied. Okay. Take this 2 days time, guys. Again, ping him. As I said, he is handling more than thousands of people. That too in the WhatsApp. Very hard for him. Try to do it for today. Today, you ping him couple of times until evening. If it is still not happening, directly message me. Then I can talk to him and I can tell him that what to be done. Clear, everyone? But make sure done packings and all. Just wait for a couple of minutes, guys. See, I forgot what I was saying. Do it. Let me know once it is done. Okay. What again? I'm forgetting, man. What I was saying? Couple of days. Yeah, in the couple of days, make sure everybody got added to the Telegram group. Everybody get the GitHub access. Everybody could able to take the latest code in it. Anywhere you face any question, you already have my ID. You can directly ping me, guys. Okay, or else if you're already in the group, if you have any question, put in the group itself so that you can even discuss. Like yesterday, it's a good part that whoever have done the assignment, you have shared the screenshots. So it was very, I felt very good. I mean, you started sharing the information with others. It is always good to share with others. And if you have any questions, get it from the other students only. It is not like directly you come to me. I'm not saying that you can come to me. The reason why I gave my ID is anytime I'm accessible. Doesn't mean that at 12 o'clock also you message me. But my intention is, if you have any blockers, you message me. But anytime coding issues and all, right, put it in the group, because other guys will also get a chance to fix your issue. If no one couldn't able to do that, then I will come into the picture. Okay. So sign off for today. We'll meet again back on Sunday. You're not coming? Okay. We'll meet back on Monday. Have a good day. Bye for today, guys.